Hello, everyone, and welcome to David and Jeff's Apprentice podcast. This is usually Survivor podcast, but today we're going to be talking all about Celebrity Apprentice and everything that is going on in that crazy show. We've had 3 weeks already, but we've had 5 episodes, so it's it's been a whirlwind of a season that's going really fast. I'm definitely enjoying the season, though. Jeff, how are you liking it?
I'm really enjoying it as well. I'm not really agreeing with a lot of Trump's decisions, but the personalities are working really well together, and it seems like even though people disagree with each other, everyone's still having fun. So that's good.
Yeah. There's a couple duds on this season, I will say. Even still, some people that aren't, or they're at least not showing them as entertaining.
Right.
But there are still a lot of personalities left, and some. There's a few A+ characters that we have this season
Oh, absolutely.
that will rank on the list of top Celebrity Apprentice players. So. We're going to talk about the first 3 episodes. We may jump around. We may not go fully in chronological order, but we'll give our thoughts on the challenges, the firings, the contestants themselves, and then at the end we will, Jeff and I will make one of our famous lists where we go back and forth, and we will be ranking who has the worst chance of winning to the best chance of winning.
What? I didn't realize our lists were famous.
They're famous between you and I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're like, let's see, who's the least popular person on the Celebrity Apprentice? We're like the least famous one.
Okay.
We're no Geraldo Rivera, I think. Come on.
No, we're more of a Brandy Glanville.
Yeah. Or a Sig Hansen.
He was one of the people I actually knew who he was.
See, I've never watched Deadliest Catch, but
Yeah, I used to watch it quite a bit, so.
He seems entertaining at least.
He's just kind of boring, yeah.
But let's get in talking about it. Let's not go in chronological order. What was your favorite task that they've done so far? We'll probably get to talking to all of them, but which one was your favorite?
I think the Cosmo one was fun.
Yeah.
Because it caused a little bit of controversy. And I thought that the neat one was also pretty good in terms of giving us people working together. The problem with what I think the problem with fundraising ones is A, they're never anything about the actual task. And
Yeah.
B, you don't see much interaction between the players. It's all like people on their cell phones calling other people. So I really like tasks where there's a collaborative effort to produce something, because that's where you get the conflict.
Yeah. The Cosmo spread one was interesting. There was actually a lot of layers to it. So not only were they doing advertisement in Cosmo, but it had to be a fitness plan and a healthy eating plan, plus a photo shoot and advertorial spread. So it was quite a big task, and it gave us that haunting image of Geraldo Rivero running around in his underwear.
Yeah, it definitely did. But I think we're good. I think we're gonna make it. Everyone survived the image.
Yes.
It was really the dumbbells that did it over for me.
Yeah. He's just going around like this.
Right.
Nothing but his skivvies. Yeah. So that was the episode. Poor Jamie went home, and let's be honest, Jamie was sort of boring.
Yeah.
And I pretty much knew she was going to get fired just because she was boring. But then after what happened in the boardroom, I was like, okay, it's completely justified why she's getting fired. She's not getting fired just because they always have to justify it. They have to find a way. But
Right.
This one, she actually deserved to get fired after her boardroom performance.
Yeah, I agree. The last thing you do is walk in and just blatantly you can admit you made a mistake if Trump directly challenges you, but you don't just walk in and give him the ammo.
Yeah. Or just even him, her asking Donald the questions. you know,
Yeah,
I,
it was good.
no, stop being wishy-washy and make a decision. Answer the question.
Yeah, I agree.
Who are you going to bring in? Who do you think I should bring in? who asked Donald
What?
Trump?
It is a new strategy. Speaking of new strategies, what did you think of Kevin Jonas's?
Um, well, Kevin Jonas's strategy wasn't new. They've had other people do that before, where they
Really?
have brought an advocate. He was very transparent about it, which was bad.
Right. I
And,
agree.
and obviously, Donald Trump hates someone who's trying to pull one over on him. If anyone's gonna make him look bad, then they're fired immediately.
Right.
I mean, you can cite Khloe Kardashian, where she got fired just because she had a DUI that she was
Right.
uh, taking classes for. And as soon as he found that out, she was fired. Anything that would make Trump look bad, he's gonna can immediately. I was a huge fan of Kevin Jonas. He was probably my favorite person of the first two episodes. I thought he was actually very competent. I was rooting for him to win, but he he should have brought in Lorenzo Lamas because I knew Trump was itching. I know Trump didn't want to fire Kevin. He actually has
Right.
a pretty big fan base, and he was entertaining. But the last thing he wanted to do was fire Geraldo. Like that was the absolute last thing that he was going to do. So to not to only pretty much give him the choice between those two, he's going to get out. And Trump tried his hardest to get Ian out.
Yeah, he was about. I actually thought for a second he was going to. The other, I think it would have been smart to bring in Lorenzo as an advocate, but just tell Trump it's because of the directing. Like Lorenzo still would have gone to bat for him, and
yeah.
without the knowledge that there's no way Geraldo was getting fired, that would have been a better strategy. Because I thought Ian was going to go home there for a little while. I thought Trump was.
I did too. Because I knew he didn't really want to fire either of them, but it was just the way the situation worked out.
You know.
Uh, and he had to choose the Kevin Jonas to go because Geraldo is pretty much gold.
Yeah, I really liked Kevin as well. I thought he was a really fun player. Um,
He
and
has some,
Gilbert, I liked Gilbert too, but I don't know why Gilbert seemed to give up. He almost like Adam Carolla level gave up.
well, okay. Adam Carolla's is a whole controversy in and of itself, where I don't know if you know this, but like when they were doing the task, some of the producers on the show told them that they wanted it uh, a Steve Jobs like presentation where he's the only one presenting. And then, so some of the producers told him that, and then they lost the task because they didn't have everyone help in the presentation of that task.
Oh, I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big thing. You can read articles about it and everything, but essentially, he was doing that more in protest. So he's being very like, obviously they're not going to show anything about them saying anything with the producers or anything.
Right.
So it showed Adam being very, stubborn and, oh, I'm not going to bring anyone in. And then he's like, fine, I'll fire two people. But anyways, where are we back? Back with, who are we talking about, Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah. With Kevin, um, how are we comparing him?
I don't remember.
Oh, no, it was Gilbert. We were talking about Gilbert now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, because Gilbert was the one who gave up, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Gilbert, part of me, like, he was one of the more justifiable firings to me. I think Gilbert and Jamie both definitely probably deserved to get fired. Gilbert was funny, like, but he wasn't, like, crazy enough or entertaining enough to justify just being kept around like a Gary Busey.
Right.
Um, and he just so he had a good one-liners, but he wasn't that good at. I mean, he's a hard worker, but he's not a leader, and he's not able to do a lot of the tasks creatively. Like if you need him to come up with some jokes, borderline inappropriate, he'd be able to do that very easily. But if you want him to, you know, do a photo shoot and add to the creative process of it, it'd probably be a little harder.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, I thought his firing was probably the third, like in the middle of legitimacy, because I think Terrell Owens was also a really legitimate fire.
Yeah. Well, and you see he doesn't last long after that either. But
Right.
yeah, for Gilbert, yeah, he I think this is just another job for him. He could care less if he was the Celebrity Apprentice, you know.
Right.
So it's just like I'll just do this as long as I going. So I think he was. I don't think he lost any sleep over getting fired.
Right. Well, there's people like Ian Ziering aren't particularly famous outside of this, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian's my new favorite now. Now that Kevin's gone, I'm rooting for Ian. And before he was just like he was one of the most competent, so I was rooting for that. But now he's become his own character with this last episode where he was giving the long speeches and those really just going a lot of weird phrases and and things like that. So it's just been really funny to see how he's actually even becoming a character as well. And he's
Now,
getting
my question about Ian Ziering, the thing that made me laugh the most is after Terrell got fired, he gave him this, like, impassioned speech about how he thinks Terrell is going to do great things and all. I'm like, dude, Terrell Owens has made more money in his life than you ever will hope to make. Like, I don't know where you think he's going to take your speech and become a better person. Like, he's done things already.
He's done things, but at the same time, with Terrell Owens, his football career, was a lot shorter than probably he wanted it to be.
That's true.
So it's sort of like he's still relatively young, so it's a matter of what are you going to do with your life. So it's not that he has not been successful, but it's sort of like a now what thing.
That's fair.
But I don't know if he's, if this show has truly helped him grow that much, but like he claimed in the episode where Gilbert got fired.
What did you think of Keisha Knight Pulliam?
I thought she was a good character. I wouldn't have mind seeing her stay longer, but at the same time, again, she was up against other people in the boardroom where they were bigger, more polarizing, entertaining people, so she was just going to lose out. And this is one of the first times on Celebrity Apprentice that the project manager has actually gone home on the first task.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And because usually the project manager on the first task even the loser raises a whole bunch of money.
Right.
Well, then he doesn't really justify. Well, you raised $75,000 for your charity. Who's the other weak link, and he'll try to find that and vote it. This one, she really did a horrible job for being the project manager of a fundraising task. Like do you remember what the number was? But
not big.
Wasn't it like 8,000 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty bad for a project manager. Like if you're choosing the first fundraising task, you need to have at least $75,000 to $100,000. Otherwise, do not volunteer yourself because the first task is going to be fundraising.
Well, that being said, everyone should have, you should have someone lined up to at least bring you $10,000, even if you're not going to be the project manager.
Yeah.
So Kate Gosselin not having even $1 to bring in like that is a problem, just as much as the project manager not making $75,000 is a problem.
Yeah. Well, like Ian showed us this past episode, if you are going on to The Apprentice, you should have donors lined up to send you a check at a moment's notice. Like
Right.
you should already be having, like he did. He pooled all his resources to have one person come and give that huge check. That wasn't one person, but you should have this stuff lined up so you're able to do it. And I thought he was really smart when he said, I also, lined up where I could get any landscaping or design things, set decor, anything at a moment's notice. I lined that all up too. That's smart. That's watching The Apprentice and figuring out how it works.
Yeah, he definitely came prepared, and he is. I don't know. Did I put him on top? Yeah, I put him very high up on my list that we're gonna make.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the fundraiser tasks just a little bit. The first one, selling pies. Usually, the first task is always selling food of some kind,
Right.
whether it's pies, pizza, or anything else. Apparently, it's always funny to see celebrities actually cook things.
It just always reminds me of the first Celebrity Apprentice where they had a fight. Do we sell pies for $10 or $10,000? Or I think they were selling lemonade. And I think it was Stephen Baldwin was the one who was like, why do we even open our doors? Why don't we just all call our friends and sell? Because Donald Trump told them you can sell them for whatever you want. Why don't we just sell our pie? And the fact that now that's like not even a conversation. Like if you don't sell a $10,000 pie, you have no chance of winning.
Yeah. Well, if you remember the last All-Stars, there was a task where Chase was project manager, and he didn't even open it to the public.
Yeah.
He sort of just defied the rules, and so you're like, yeah, we're not even opening it to the public. We don't need it.
Well, I can understand, like, why put on the charade?
Yeah.
And Trace Adkins isn't the type of person to just put on a charade because that's what you're supposed to do,
Yeah. The other one was wedding dresses, and they've done this challenge before, actually, where they've had to, I think on another Celebrity Apprentice, where they had to sell wedding dresses. And this one is always, like, a joke to me, because, like, who's actually using these wedding dresses that these people are buying? Because they're bringing in these donors. Half of them are at least half of them are males. Who the heck is actually using these wedding dresses?
Do they have to actually give them a wedding dress?
Yeah, you have to have an exchange of purchase.
And they can't donate the wedding dress back to you?
No, they could. I mean, they could give it to someone else, but you can't. They couldn't give it back to.
Huh.
You couldn't resell the same item twice or anything.
For some reason, I just assumed that they didn't have to, like with pot, but with a wedding dress, I just assumed that they didn't even have to worry about that.
No, I'm pretty sure you have a certain number of dresses, so you have like a 75 or 100 dresses, and then that's all you get, and then you have to.
Right. So it's whatever 75 or 100,
They have a certain limit. You have to actually exchange the goods of some kind. So like all the stuff, yeah, you actually have to buy a pie. You actually have to buy a wedding dress. But what did you think of Brandy's panic attack in the wedding dress task?
She still brought in money. Like, if you're gonna have a panic attack, she at least had a panic attack the right way. Like, she didn't distract anyone, and she still brought in money. If she brought in nothing, fire her immediately. Like, no questions asked. But if that's something that's gonna happen to you, and I understand that happens to people, you gotta at least bring in money.
Are you Team Kenya or Team Brandy?
I'm Team Kenya. I think Brandy is starting a lot of it, it seems like to me. She's the one making underhanded comments. Nothing Kenya does, in my opinion, seems to be prompted simply by a hatred for Brandy. Everything seems to have a reason behind it. So, I'm Team Kenya.
I think Kenya is doing most of it for game purposes, to more get under her skin, whereas Brandy seems to take it a little more personally, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That being said, I don't know. I can't say I'm a true team for anyone, but maybe I'm slightly towards Brandy. I don't know.
Really?
I won't go and say I'm full Team Brandy and support her and like her or anything, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Kenya, so.
That's fair.
What did you think of the commercials, the electronic organizer scanner commercials from the second episode? We haven't talked about that task. The
I
one.
thought, first of all, I thought both of them were really bad. But I thought the guys was at least better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I like an ad that's funny, and to see Gilbert Godfrey doing yelling about this organization, for me, that was funny. So I probably preferred the men's a little bit, but to each their own. And I always wonder, is it actually all on the companies and the people?
Right.
Are they truly judging everything, or do the producers have influence?
Right. And that's been a question since
The beginning, yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other question, I maybe you can tell me. I don't know. I'm not old like you. Does Geraldo Rivera have one of the most recognizable voices in America? Because I don't think so.
No. Maybe he used to, but even then, I don't think so. No. I would recognize. Okay, before the Celebrity Apprentice was airing, I would recognize Mike Rowe more than I would him.
I agree, and I just don't know why. Like,
he has such a big ego. It's like we have Gary Busey a little bit, but he's much more competent than Gary Busey. But he just has a huge ego. Is there any other Celebrity Apprentice person that you can compare to that has the same ego as Geraldo?
not off the top of my head. Maybe Omarosa.
Yeah, but I don't even think she has that big of an ego about herself. She just likes stupid little people.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the closest. I don't think so, though.
Maybe Piers. He had a pretty big ego.
Yeah, maybe Pierce.
I mean, his is a little more justified.
Very true.
Like he actually won, and he
You
could
realize
very much.
Geraldo Rivera was basically Jerry Springer for a bunch of years. Like, he had a show that was basically the Jerry Springer show of the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot. And obviously the most famous thing is he opened Al Capone's vault and it was empty.
Right.
The biggest letdown ever. It was like this huge special. We're going inside Al Capone's secret vault. And do you remember the name of that company that made the microwavable meals, the TV dinners? Because I had never heard of them before.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, I've never heard of them before. But what did you think of that task?
To be honest, it was forgettable. Like, that was the one when I was thinking back on the task that I didn't remember. Because they just had to make the meal, pick them. They didn't even have to make them. They just had to pick them. And then do a little presentation.
Why are we trying to make TV dinners look so fancy? That's what I wonder. Like, they're trying this huge, elegant thing. They're literally in the back microwaving them all.
Well, my question is, like, do they not think that the people buying TV dinners, like, know? Like, is anyone fooled? I can't imagine this person who lives in this fancy mansion making $1 million a year walking through, like, the aisles of a baker's going, oh my gosh, this microwave dinner looks so fancy. No!
I will say Gilbert's part of the presentation was pretty inappropriate. It had nothing to do with the rest of it.
Which we all knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, Terrell Owens was I think he should have been fired in that task because Gilbert was like, oh no, I don't write my jokes down, or I don't write my speeches down, and Terrell was like, oh, okay, cool, just make sure you're ready by game time.
I just think he did talk about his kids. Just not in the way that they wanted him to.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Let's see. Let's talk about some of the other people. What do you think of Lisa?
You know, I don't know much about her. She seems really cool, and Trump seems to really, really respect her. So I have to think that she's, I mean, a pretty big deal. And she hasn't, I mean, she hasn't done anything super like on. She kind of like Sig Hansen, right? Like hasn't done anything good or bad. But Trump really, really likes her.
Well, I think she's actually in the task. She's been shown to be pretty strong, actually. Especially in the first couple episodes, they showed her with the pie. She was the one who actually raised the most money. They showed her to be
Right.
one of the strong components in the commercial, actually, doing that stuff, and even the TV dinner one for a smaller degree. She didn't have as big a role in the wedding dress one or in the Cosmo as much, but I think she's been showing to be a strong person who's very competent, and I could see her being a dark horse winning.
Yeah, absolutely. She's in my. She's yes, I agree.
We talked about Kenya and Brandy. What do you think of Kate Goslin?
I don't know how to like. I don't know like. She gets $0 on the first task, so she starts off on a bad foot. She didn't get much in this most recent task, did she?
She got like a $35,000 one at least.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I just think that she's not. I mean, she's not particularly strong in any of the tasks. She's not really doing much. I don't know. I just don't like her. I also don't like her because she's on a stupid TV show. But still,
What do you think of Miss Mooncycle herself, Sean Johnson?
I like Sean Johnson a lot. She was one of my celebrity crushes when I was younger, so there's that. But also she's got a good head on her shoulder. She's smart. She kind of flies under the radar, with the exception of that one episode where she was not feeling well. I think she's got a shot at winning, and I mean she won Dancing with the Stars, so this is something she's done before. She's familiar with the process, so I think she's got a good chance.
Yeah. She's very likable. She could amp up her entertainment value a little bit. That being said, I don't think she's younger people probably have the hardest time of winning this game just
Hmm.
because they. I mean, part of it's they don't have as much experience, but part of it is they are sort of looked down upon with Trump, and like he'll be like, "Oh, you're gonna do great things in the future," but he seems
Yeah.
to respect older people more.
That is true, but he is also a fan of Olympians.
That is true, but most Olympians do not go very far. I think the farthest Olympian we've had is Summer Sanders, and she made it maybe sixth or seventh. I don't
There
think
was
there's been.
there was also an Olympian in one of the regular seasons. I think her name was Angie. I
Oh yes, yes, there was
think
Angie.
she got pretty far.
That was in the LA one. Yeah, she did. She was about sixth or seventh too. She may be the farthest. Yeah, that was the whole thing where like beforehand it was like vote for which Olympian you want to see on the next season of The Apprentice that they aired during the.
Oh, I didn't realize they did that.
Yeah, I was rooting for Apollo Ono, but he didn't make it, and that girl Angie made it instead.
I'm surprised they didn't. That Apollo Ono didn't make it. He was a big deal at the
No,
time.
he was one of my favorite Olympians. Speed
I mean, he
skater.
still is a big deal. He also won Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, are you a big Dancing with the Stars fan, Jeff?
No, I usually just see who's on it, and
Yeah.
then if I really like someone, I'll look them up on YouTube after the show airs. But I don't watch it
Yeah.
religiously or anything.
Same here. I like to follow it to know who's in and out, but I don't actually watch it at all.
Right.
A few more people. Vivica A. Fox. What do you think?
I like her a lot. Again,
Yeah.
got a good head on her shoulders, kind of under the radar, but knows when to speak up and make her voice heard.
Yeah, she's
Strong player.
entertaining, especially in her confessionals. Like she knows she's an actress and a pretty good one, so she knows how to play to the cameras and do that kind of stuff. I think she's another dark horse. You saw. I thought it was very interesting when they showed her confessional when they're talking about the whole big Geraldo versus Ian thing, and she's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, you guys think you're the top dogs, but just wait." So I think she's another person that could do very well. But yeah, I think she's entertaining. She's still likable, much more so than a lot of the other women. So I could see her going far, potentially winning.
I agree.
I think there's only one other person left. Well, I'm a little disappointed in Lorenzo Lamas that he's not more entertaining. I watched him on the Joe Schmo show, and he was hilarious.
I agree.
You think
I'm
he
very
could have, at least at this point, he should have worn a casual pouch.
upset.
He needs to ratchet up his entertainment a bit.
And he had a perfect opportunity too with the Cosmo
Yep, there you go. Yep.
casual pouch.
uh, and Sig has been pretty much invisible until this most recent episode where he started abducting women and taking them into the into the the wedding dress store. And Johnny Damon, that's the only other person we haven't talked about, I don't think.
He has this weird way about him. I think he's like adorable because he's like, I mean, sports people are right. They're the only people who aren't trained to talk. They're not famous because they talk. And he does not have the voice that you would expect Johnny Damon to have. And he's just very meek and shy. And I don't know, he's just adorable.
That being said, I don't find him that entertaining. He had a
No.
pretty good when he was the project manager for the Cosmo spread. He was a little entertaining there. He was mainly talking about his wife, but um, but yeah, he for the rest of the task, and he did look like a really sad puppy dog in this last boardroom
Yeah,
where they're all just like, we didn't raise enough money.
yeah, it was.
But any other thoughts or memorable moments from the first 5 episodes, Jeff?
Not off the top of my head. Like I said, I've been enjoying this season. I feel like I know most of the people, which, as you know, with my history of Celebrity Apprentice, isn't always true. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, there's some like Johnny and Sig, Lorenzo. Um, they're a little bit more of a sleeper people, so hopefully they'll ratchet it up or get fired. But right now, all the drama seems to come mainly from the women.
Yeah, and Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah, and Ian with his rivalry.
And we can agree, most disappointing exit, Kevin Jonas.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I think he could have won the game under the right circumstances. Like
Yeah,
he's competent, he's likable.
I agree.
So let's go to this ranking now. So there are 11 people left in the game. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start? We'll start at the bottom, least likely to win, and work our way up to the top.
Are we both doing our full list, or are we like you pick number 11, I pick number 10, that type?
Yeah. Yeah.
Second one?
Yes.
Then you can start.
I'll start. All right. So who do I think has the least chance of winning? I'm going to go with. There's so many choices. I'm just going to go with Brandi Glanville. I don't think there's any way she wins this game.
Okay.
What
I
do you
heard
think?
ninth.
Okay.
Ninth.
Not too far.
Yeah. For number 10, I will pick Sig Hansen. Just, he hasn't been shown. I'm sure he's competent, but the fact that he hasn't been shown means that they're not setting him up to be a winner. So
He's like a Paul Tuttle Sr.
yeah,
He's on a reality show, but it's very much a everyday job, reality show, and they're not most entertaining or have that wide variety of a skill.
right.
All right, so number 9. I'm going to go with Johnny Damon. I don't think there's any way Johnny wins.
Okay.
What did you have him at?
I had him at 8th.
Okay.
And so I'll give you my 10th, which was Geraldo Rivera. Just
Ooh.
I as much as Trump likes him, he can't escape the ego, I don't think. And I think that's going to catch up with him, and I don't think Trump's willing to pick him to win.
I don't know. I could see him being like a Joan Rivers a little bit,
Really?
where I don't know. I think he has. I don't think he's as competent as Joan. So I'm hoping that's not the case. But I think he's gonna be around for a long time. So
Really?
I think there's a chance he wins, but I'm really hoping he doesn't. All right, my next one, Kate Gosselin. I don't think there's any chance she wins.
Yeah, she was my number 7 as well.
Back to you.
My number 6 would be Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah, that was my next one.
He hasn't been shown enough. Nothing really that competent. Nothing really that interesting. No casual pouch yet. So
Yeah. My next one, Shawn Johnson. Nice, but I don't think she has everything it takes to win.
I had her at number 4, and my number 5, which is now the number 4, would be Kenya Moore. Actually shown to be fairly competent, but I think that her relationships are going to get in the way of her ability to win.
Yeah. So now we have 3. This next person, these 3 all are really strong potential for me winning, but I'm going to choose Vivica for number 3.
Yeah. Okay, I had Vivica at number 2 on my list because of her visibility and her competence. So my number 3 would be the person who I think is probably equally competent, but has been less visible in more episodes. So my number 2 then would be Lisa Gibbons.
All right. Which means our number 1 is Ian Ziering, which I think he has good potential as long as he wins the rivalry against Geraldo. Then
Yeah.
But
he's so prepared in my mind.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think he could definitely be very deserving to win. I think he's competent. But like you said, over the past 2 episodes, they've really shown his more character, a little absurd side. So hopefully that's not counting against him.
Well, and I just think that so many people come into Celebrity Apprentice saying, my chances of winning aren't very big, so I'll just do what I can, maybe win a couple $10,000 for my charity, and it'll all be good. And I think he's one of the few people who actually wants to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. All right, so that's our list. Agree or disagree with us? Let us know in our comments. You can do David and Jeff Survivor Podcast, our Facebook group. We also talk about Celebrity Apprentice on there. So feel free to comment and let us know what you think and who has the best shot of winning at this point. So, Jeff, I have a little game for you, all right?
Okay.
I have 9 facts about 9 different contestants on this season.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the fact. I want you to guess who the fact is about. We'll see how many you can get. What out of the 9, what do you think is an acceptable number for you to get correct?
You want to just go 5, say the majority?
Okay, we'll go with majority.
Is it about the remaining 11 contestants or any of the contestants?
Any of the contestants.
Okay.
Yep. Yes.
I will try my best. I think 5 is an acceptable number, but I probably won't get that. So
5 or yeah, so it can be fired or non-fired, but 5 out of the 9. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Go with the first one. Produced and directed the film Haitian Nights.
I know that Lorenzo has directing experience, so I'm going to guess him.
The correct answer is Kenya.
Oof. Okay.
Kenya has her own production company.
Really?
For this film, halfway through, the director or whatever left it, so she finished directing it and got credit for it, and then personally financed it and released it by making her own production company. So
now I have a quick question. Are you guaranteeing me that no contestant is in here twice?
I don't have anyone twice, no.
So Kenya is out.
All right, next one. Has a daughter named Alina Rose.
Oh, I saw something about Alina Rose on Facebook today, but I don't know who. I don't know who it was talking about. I'm trying to think. Alina Rose. Who would name their daughter Alina Rose? I don't know. I saw it too. That's the thing that. Oh, I never mind. I saw something about Amber Rose on Facebook. I was trying to look at back on it on Facebook. Anyway,
Now
daughter
you're
named
trying
Alina
to.
Rose. I was not cheating. I was being resourceful. I'll guess Johnny Damon.
The correct answer is Kevin Jonas. Kevin Jonas.
He has a daughter?
Yeah, apparently last February, so it's about a year old.
Wow. Okay.
All right, you're 0 for 2. You need to pick up the pace here. All right, ready for this next one?
Yeah.
I'll give you a nice, easy one. Has won 2 other TV game shows.
I know Sean Johnson has won one, so I'm going to guess her and hope that she won something else.
Incorrect.
Who was it?
It was the first one fired, Keisha Knight Pulliam.
She won Fear Factor.
She won Fear Factor and The Weakest Link.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Because I remember her being on Fear Factor, but for some reason I didn't think she won. Dang it. Okay.
And she also has done Horrible in like 3 or 4. So
Yeah, she's kind of a reality show.
she's like win or lose, first out or all the way. All right. 0 for 3. This is not looking good. Let me try to find. All right. Here's another one that should be fairly easy. Owner and skipper of the boat Voyager.
This one I know. Sig Hansen.
No.
What?
He's not owner and skipper of the boat Voyager.
Who is it?
Geraldo Rivera.
These are intentionally misleading.
He has his own boat. He's the skipper of it. He competed in one of the boating races and did not win.
Okay, so I have to get the next 5 right?
I think so, yes. You are 0 for 4. All right. Here we go. Was a judge on the reality TV show Are You Hot?
Are You Hot?
Yes, Are You Hot? This is where contestants would walk by and then the judges would vote hot or not hot. And then if you were hot, you move to the next round.
Wait, and that's it?
I never watched a full episode, but there was a few subsequent rounds, I think, with additional things. But pretty much it was just trying to find hot people. Are you hot?
Was it a male and female hot people?
Yes. All right. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a hint. This person you have already guessed for a different one. So you now have a 1 in 4 shot.
Okay, so I was in between Ian and Lorenzo, so I'm going to guess Lorenzo.
That is correct. Lorenzo Lamas, one of the judges of Are You Hot? You got one right.
Because I was thinking they probably want, like, good-looking judges, and I was thinking male for some reason, because anyway.
All right. Next one. Used to date rapper 50 Cent.
Okay. Oof. It's not going to be Lisa. I don't think it's Brandy. It's definitely not Kate. It's definitely not Sean. It's definitely not Jamie. So that leaves me with Vivica, and Kenya's already been guessed, so I'll go with Vivica.
That is correct. Vivica A. Fox. I helped you with that one by waiting to ask that question.
Which question?
The dating 50 Cent one.
Oh, yeah.
I eliminated some choices for you. All right, so you got 2. There's 3 left. Oh, these are all harder ones. Are you ready?
Yeah.
won $50,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire for their charity, of course. I think.
Well, Brandy wouldn't have been famous enough, Kate wouldn't have been famous enough, Sig wouldn't have been famous enough, and Sean wouldn't have been famous enough. Ian, probably not. Could be Terrell. Doubt it's Jamie. So I'm thinking Gilbert, Terrell, Lisa, Johnny. Can you tell me how recently this Who Wants to Be a Millionaire win was?
Oh, I could probably look it up quick. All right, let me see if I can find when it was. 2009.
Okay, I'll go with. Oof. I'm in between two again. I'll go with Johnny Damon.
That is incorrect.
Is it Gilbert?
Nope, Shawn Johnson. Shawn
Really?
Johnson. Yep.
Good for her.
She got
Wait,
it.
question. That means that Shawn Johnson has won 2 other game shows.
Technically, she did not win Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That you would have to win the $1 million.
Okay, David. Whatever you say.
All right, if you get the next 2 right, we'll call it good. You won.
Because then I get 4.5.
Yeah, we'll count that.
Okay.
All right. Appeared on an episode of Dr. Phil. Not as a consultant, but as a person meeting with Dr. Phil.
Kate?
Incorrect.
Who was it?
Terrell Owens.
Why was he on Dr. Phil?
He was there with all 3 of his baby mamas who were talking about how he does not spend time with his children.
That's not nice of him.
All right. 1 question left.
Okay.
Had a movie role in both RoboCop and RoboCop 2.
I have no clue. I've seen RoboCop maybe. I'll go with Lisa.
That is correct. Lisa Gibbons.
What?
Yeah, she played a reporter.
Good for her.
So you have successfully gotten 3 and maybe a half right. But,
maybe.
I don't think that was quite good enough, Jeff.
That was almost 5.
Almost 5. If you round up to from 1 to 5.
Yes. If you round up to the nearest 5.
Yeah.
1.
But so yeah, now you know a little bit more about the people playing Celebrity Apprentice. But that is all. We'll probably be back in a couple episodes to talk more about Celebrity Apprentice and get our thoughts of that. So stay tuned. But Jeff, where should people go if they want to comment or listen to us or learn more about us?
Well, David, they have a couple of options.
Ooh, options.
They could go to our Facebook page at David and Jeff Survivor Podcast.
Yes, sounds good.
They could go to apprenticepodcast.blogspot.com.
Ooh, fun.
Or they could go to survivorpodcast.blogspot.com
Yes.
if they want to look at our Survivor podcasts.
Yes. And what else?
Or they could, this isn't a comment, but they could hit subscribe on iTunes, and the podcast will show up on their computer every week.
There we go. Lots of different options for you. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love for you to subscribe. We'll be talking more about Celebrity Apprentice. We're obviously going to be talking about Survivor next season when it premieres February. I'm excited. Apparently, they're announcing the cast this week, so I'm hopeful for that. Should be fun. So stay tuned. Lots of stuff coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching and/or listening. Goodbye.
Bye.